Well, good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it. We're going to wait another 2 minutes and then we'll get started. And yeah, let's wait until 11:05 and we'll get started. There's a few people that haven't that registered that have not signed up yet. Okay, we're going to go ahead and get started. So it is my pleasure to introduce to you guys, Gabrielle Michaud from Belixo. Gabrielle used to work for Acumatica for quite a while, and now he's started his company and created this fantastic Excel reporting tool that I'm super excited to introduce to you guys because I am now using it, and I can tell you that I can create financial reports in 1/10 of the time that it would take me to create them with Acumatica Report Writer. I am not shooting down Acumatica Financial Report Writing, but his tool is just so easy to use that it is that much faster than Acumatica. But I'm just gonna leave it there and let Gabriel and his products speak for itself. So Gabriel, welcome to this webinar, and some of my customers have joined, and I'm super happy to have you take over and introduce your product.
Thanks a lot, Patricia, for the wonderful introduction. Before I get started, I would really like to thank you and everyone at PC Bennett Solutions for hosting this webinar and giving me the opportunity to present to your customers. I hope everyone will enjoy the presentation. I'm very excited about the product and all the feedback we've been getting from customers and other Acumatica partners. And I hope that by the end of this presentation, you will be convinced as well. My name, once again, is Gabrielle Michaud. As Patricia mentioned, I worked at Acumatica for a few years, but my experience with ERP goes back about 20 years. Back in 2009, I became one of the first Acumatica reseller in Canada, Montreal, Canada. That's when we started working with the product. Almost 2 years ago now, I left Acumatica to join, not join, but start this new company. Velixo Reports is our first product, and I'm very excited to show it to you today. The product that you're about to see is an Acumatica certified application. It's also an Acumatica customer validated application. That means that there are multiple Acumatica customers out there that are actively using the product and that are publicly willing to recommend this solution. It is the highest recognition that ISVs, companies like mine, can receive for a product. The presentation today will be divided in 2 parts. First, I will start with a few slides to introduce the product, and then I will give you a live demo of the solution. We'll finish with a Q&A session. If anyone has questions, I'll be happy to answer them after the demo or by email after the presentation if you have additional questions. Before I get started, I would like to give you some background on how this product was born. 15 years ago, I was working on what would become my first ERP product. It's a local solution that you have probably never heard of, but the challenges that we were facing and the benefits that we wanted to provide to our customers were the same that they are today with a product like Acumatica. And one of the things that I was working on is financial reports. We were trying to improve the financial reporting experience and create good reports that accountants would like to use. It seemed that no matter how hard we tried to improve these reports, that users kept exporting them to Excel and start making all sorts of changes to the reports, in many cases even manually re-entering numbers, rekeying data, with all the risk of errors that come with that. So back then we thought, why not make it easier for them? And instead of fighting against Excel, add tools and new functions to make it possible to work right inside Excel with live accounting software data. So that's where the idea of tightly integrating Excel with an ERP product was born. 15 years ago, I can say now that I was a bit naive and I thought that this was the first time somebody had this idea, but it turns out that there were other products trying to do the same thing on the market. But still, as you will see later in my presentation, that experience was extremely important in helping me build a better product for Acumatica customers today. I not only built this product with my team, but I also supported the product and talked to so many end users, accountants, controllers, CFOs using it. And that was a very, very important experience. The product that you're about to see, however, is a brand new solution. It's something that was built from the ground up for Acumatica customers. And I'd like to add for Acumatica customers only. As you'll see during my presentation, this is also very important because having a product that is built for Acumatica allows us to leverage the unique capabilities of your cloud ERP. I will show you features such as smart drill down, smart refresh, consolidations, and the integrated security system that would not be possible if we were building a product that works with Dynamics GP, with NetSuite, with Sage 500, and Acumatica. This is a product that was designed for Acumatica customers only. The product adds a new toolbar with Excel and a set of over 45 new functions that are specially designed to work with general ledger and project data. User friendliness is one of the key strengths of Velixo reports. The installation takes just a few seconds, and you are instantly able to start creating new reports or updating your existing reports to use Acumatica data. Every function that we add to Excel is documented through the Excel IntelliSense feature. That means that when you type something in a formula, Excel tells you all the different arguments and parameters that you need to enter. It also tells you what this function does. So it's very helpful when you're building your functions. But really, as you'll see, there is absolutely no learning curve to this product. I like to say to my clients that as long as they know how to use Excel, they already know how to use this product. I have a wonderful testimonial from Nigel Legressley. He is the CFO at Acumatica. Acumatica has been using the product since the first version last year. And what Nigel told me is how impressed he was with the ease of use and the simplicity of the tool. Prior to discovering Velixo reports, they had tried other tools, and unfortunately, after a few months, they gave up. They could not make it work. With Velixo reports, they had everything working in just a few days, and I would say even just a few hours. But more importantly, they were able to do that by themselves with no complicated implementation process or no need to use a programmer and 5 consultants to get the solution working. It's really a product targeted to CFOs, to accountants, and to anybody that spends time in Microsoft Excel. Performance is another key component for an Excel-based reporting solution. And I'd like to go back to this story I was telling you of my first Excel-based reporting engine that I built 15 years ago. One of the mistakes we made with this product was to underestimate the complexity of the reports that people would create. Quickly, we had customers creating spreadsheets with 10 tabs, with thousands of cells, pulling data from multiple companies, and that was creating some problems. The reports were taking too long to refresh, and people were complaining that the recalculation speeds were not as good as what they were expecting. So when I started working on Vilixo reports, I knew that performance would require my attention, and that it would be one of the things that would make or break this product. And I'm very, very happy to report that the performance of Vilixo reports is just amazing. We have customers that have created extremely complex spreadsheets, and they're able to refresh them in just a few seconds. The most complex, I would say, or not complex, but the largest implementation of Vilixo reports that we have today is KFC, Kentucky Fried Chicken. All the locations of KFC in France are using Acumatica for bookkeeping, but more importantly, they're using Vilixo reports for monthly reporting. Julien Chevry, the guy that's quoted on the slide you see right now, is a partner at EasyCo, a Paris-based accounting firm. And I've been working with Julien for a few years now. Together, we worked on multiple Acumatica implementations. And he reached out to me a little more than a year ago with this project. He showed me this extremely complex Excel spreadsheet that they have to prepare every month and present to the shareholders. This is a spreadsheet that has over 50 tabs and 15,000 cells. Each cell needs to pull data from 4 Acumatica companies. Actually, no, it's not 4. Now it's 5 Acumatica companies. So it's even more complex than it used to be. With Vilixo reports, they're able to run and refresh this report every month in under a minute. Don't worry, even if your financial reporting requirements are not as sophisticated or advanced, you will benefit and you will like working with Vilixo reports. The technology behind this amazing performance is called Smart Refresh. And Smart Refresh is basically a way for us to retrieve new and modified transactions from Acumatica. So whether you have 1,000 or 1 million transactions in your ERP, each refresh will happen in a very short amount of time. That also means that you no longer need to rely on any manual exports or any re-entry of the data. Everything is loaded from Acumatica, and everything is also live. One thing you will see during the demonstration is that whenever you make a change to a formula, whether it's changing an account number or changing the financial period or copying a column, everything recalculates and refresh instantly. A common question that I get from customers is how the solution compares to the built-in reporting tool in Acumatica. Acumatica has a financial report writer that is called ARM or ARM. ARM stands for Analytical Report Manager. This is the tool in Acumatica that you use to create income statements, balance sheets, cash flow reports, and anything that relates to GL. Last month, I published an article on my blog at blog.vilixo.com that shows multiple reasons why you might prefer Excel over the built-in financial report writing tool in Acumatica. During my presentation today, I will go through some of these benefits, but I would invite you to visit the blog and read this article and all the other articles that we have published about the product. This is also where you will learn more about the upcoming version of Vilixo reports that we will be releasing around the new year. I'm almost ready to get started with my demo, but before I do that, I always like to show my happy customer slides. We've been adding new customers on a weekly basis since launch. I'm very, very happy about all the interest that we're seeing around Velixo reports, and I would be pleased to add your company to this list. So with that said, let's close PowerPoint and start the product demo. So if you recall, I mentioned that Velixo is very simple to implement. So I think the best way to prove that to you is to actually go through the process of installing and setting up Velixo reports on my machine. So I have the installer here. I will double click and click install. So every computer where you will be using Excel with Acumatica needs to have this add-in installed. It takes just a few seconds. It's already done on my machine, and I can just click finish to start Excel. By the way, the product is compatible with Excel 2010 for Windows and later. And we support every version of Acumatica, starting with Acumatica 5.3. You will also be happy to know that the product is licensed by Acumatica Instance. So once you have a license for your organization, you can install this on as many machines as you require. You don't need to have a designer license or viewer license. You just need a license for your organization, and then you install it anywhere you need. I will first start by showing you an already built spreadsheet. This is usually how I start my presentation. So I will click on this file here. Since this file is connected to Acumatica, I first need to enter my credentials. The address and username is already filled out. I will type my password. Anytime you open a spreadsheet that is connected to Acumatica, you will see this window. You just need to use the same username and same password that you use when logging in using your web browser. If you have multiple connections set up, an example of that would be if you're consolidating results from multiple Acumatica companies, you would see multiple login windows like this one. So I will just hit connect and wait for a few seconds for the login to complete. And next, I will go to the Acumatica toolbar. So this is the new toolbar that we add to Excel. And in this toolbar, you will find some of the key features of Velixo reports. Whenever I open a spreadsheet, I usually start by clicking Refresh All. This starts the smart refresh process that I mentioned earlier, and it loads the new and updated transactions from Acumatica. So that will take just a few seconds. And after that, all the operations I will make on the spreadsheet will happen with the data that was loaded and cached in memory. As you'll see, it's extremely fast, and it's the same level of performance that you get even on extremely large spreadsheets. So right now I'm looking at January, so let's change that to have November. So I will just type my financial period and press enter. And as soon as I change the period, you can see that Excel recalculates the P&L. The same thing happens if I try to change to a different branch. So let's switch to services and then switch back to the consolidated branch. So that happens because all the different cells and formulas inside the cells are pointing to the branch and financial period values that I put here. So this works just like any other Excel formula. Whenever you change something, Excel knows that the data has to be recalculated. So here in the net sales column, you can see one such function. This is the account turnover function. This is one of the 45 functions that we add to Excel. And this is a function that's been designed to work with Acumatica data. In the second part of my demo, I will show you how the functions work and how you can build spreadsheets like this one from scratch. But first of all, I see that something is wrong on my spreadsheet. My sales are extremely low and I'm losing a lot of money. So I'll start by taking a look at the account mapping. So I will open this group here and check the account number that is linked to my net sales line. So I already see where my problem is. Obviously, I'm sure you know that I made that mistake on purpose. But the reason I'm doing that is to show you how we map accounts and the flexibility that you have in terms of account mapping, sub-account mapping, and branch mapping. So I usually put my mappings in the first few columns or the first few rows of my spreadsheet. That makes it easy when I need to make a change. So in my case, what I really intended to do was include every single revenue account. So everything from 40000 to 49999. So I will change the mapping here and just press enter, and you will see everything on this line we calculate right away. So let's do it, enter, and boom, calculation is already done. So you can use individual account numbers like I had before. You can use from to ranges. You can also use account classes like I'm doing here for the last two lines. This is the same account classes that you have in Acumatica. The main benefit of using account classes is that whenever you add a new account, you don't need to worry about your existing reports. As long as you link the account to an existing account class, all your existing reports will be updated right away. You have a lot of flexibility. You can combine accounts with account classes. You can do from to ranges like this one. You can have multiple ranges in the same calculation. So instead of doing everything from 4000 to 49999, it could also be something like that. And then everything between 45000 to 49999. I can also use wildcards. So the question mark character means everything. So everything that starts with 4 and has 4 digits afterwards. So we'll give you the exact same result that I had before. And you can also exclude specific accounts from a range. So that's very convenient. Let's say you want everything everything that starts with 4, but you want to exclude account 46510. You just put minus in front of it, and it will be excluded from the calculation. So it's very flexible, but also very simple to use at the same time. Um, as you've been seeing so far, everything is live. Everything recalculates instantly when I make a change. But that's just one of the benefits of using Excel to build your financial and project reports. If you are used to working with ARM and Acumatica, you know that you have to go to row sets, to column sets, and preview your reports again whenever you make a change. That's not the case here with Excel. I'd like to show you now a few additional benefits beside this slide recalculation. Excel has very good formatting and layout capabilities. As you can see on this spreadsheet, let me resize that slightly. As you can see on my P&L, I have my logo here at the top. So Excel allows you to put graphics, images, anywhere on your spreadsheet. I'm also using borders to separate each section of my report. So the first section here is the current month section. So you have actuals, you have budget, and then you have variance. And next I'm showing previous year and also the year-to-date sections. So it's very visual and it's very easy to see the main sections of this P&L. You can also use conditional formatting. This is what you see here in the variance percentage column. So that nice little arrow here shows me that my sales are up and that my expenses are down. So this is thanks to the conditional formatting features in Excel. That's a standard Excel feature. And you can use it very easily with any report that you create using Excel and Velixo reports. Speaking of built-in Excel features, I'd like to show you how you can combine and incorporate a chart into any Excel spreadsheet. So what I'd like to do is have a chart that shows me expenses by category. So first I will expand this group here, expenses. So now I have all my expenses by category. I will go to insert, charts, and select a pie chart. So let's name that expenses by category and move it here. And now we have a pie chart that works with live Acumatica data. If I change the financial period here to, let's say, January, you'll see the pie chart update. And same if I change to another branch. Let's go to services. Again, it updates instantly. So that only took a few clicks, and I was able to create this nice pie chart that works with live Acumatica data. You may also have noticed the grouping here. I forgot to mention it before showing the pie chart, but Excel allows you to create groups that you can expand or collapse easily. This is quite useful because you can start with a high level or summary view in any report and then allow your users to expand and see more details. Inside Acumatica, you have the expand feature, but it's something that you need to set at design time. That means that it needs to be decided by someone, and users cannot toggle between summary or a detailed view of the accounts. Finally, in terms of layout and formatting, I'd like to show you tabs here. I'm sure you're familiar with that. Excel allows you to create multiple tabs in the same report, but that's really convenient when you want to create a financial report package like this one. In my file, I have a P&L. That's the one we've been looking at. I have another version of the same P&L, but showing expenses over the last 12 financial periods. So inside the same report, I have two different views of the same P&L, but I also have different reports. A cash flow statement, I have a trial balance, and I also have a project profitability report. I will not spend much time today during my presentation to discuss projects, but be aware that Velixo has a set of functions that are designed to work with the Acumatica project accounting module. Everything that you will see today for GL as its equivalent in the project section of Velixo and the project section of Acumatica. So you can easily retrieve your project budgets, project actuals, quantities, committed amounts, and so on, and filter using the standard project features such as project task, cost codes, and inventory items. Having multiple reports inside the same spreadsheet is one of the ways you can use tabs. Something else that I also see quite frequently is to have a summary view like this one, and then multiple tabs, each showing a different business unit. So let's do an example of that real quickly. I will create a copy of this file, not this file, but a copy of the P&L tab, and call this one services, and switch to the services branch. That gives me the ability to quickly toggle back and forth between the two tabs. But more importantly, if I take the spreadsheet and export it to PDF or even print it, we have people that are actually printing these reports, well, everything will print out or export nicely. Excel has very good page layout and formatting capability, so we can easily shrink any page and ensure it fits into whatever format that you require. So when you have multiple tabs, all the tabs will print in just one step. Now I would like to show you one of the benefits of having a very tight integration with Acumatica. The feature that I want to show you now is called Smart Drill Down. But before I explain why it's Smart Drill Down and not just Drill Down, I'd like to show you a very simple example of this drill down function. So here I have my net sales number, 3.9 million. If I double click on the cell, I can see that there's the account turnover function. But I don't really see the branches or the sub accounts, or really I don't really know what's behind this number. Excel just tells me that it's 3.9 million, but I don't really trust it. So I'd like to see what's behind this number. So what I'll do is go to the Acumatica toolbar and click drill down. So if you're familiar with ARM in Acumatica, what you see right now on the screen will probably be very familiar to you. This is a summary that shows me every account, sub-account, period, and branch that is used in the calculation that you saw earlier. In case you're wondering why we don't see the 3.9 million figure, it's actually credit minus debit. So what you see now, 3.9 million, is exactly what we have on the P&L tab. But more importantly, when you have this drill down summary, you can then click on any line and go to Acumatica to view the full transaction details for the account that you selected. So let's log in and wait for the account details window to load. And now Acumatica shows me every single transaction in the account and sub-account that I selected. And I can click on any document to see the original invoice in this case. Since I'm now inside Acumatica, I have access to every feature in Acumatica, including notes and files attachments. So if my invoice has a PDF version attached to it, I can view it from here. Let's go back to Excel, and now let me explain why this is not just drill down, but smart drill down. Usually, accountants love this feature when I see it. So when you're working with Excel, you will frequently have formulas like this one here. Let me scroll down to operating expenses and double click. So total operating expenses is the sum of every line above it. You might want to drill down on that. Let me take a more advanced example. It's something that one of our customers built recently. It's a restaurant franchise business, another one, not KFC. And they needed to calculate royalty dues for each franchisee on a monthly basis. So the calculation goes like that. They get their sales. The sales are taken from the P&L, and then they subtract salaries, supplies, insurance, and they also subtract a few accounts from a different tab and maybe even a different Acumatica company. So let's take this one here and then press enter. Then they have the royalty percentage. Let's say it's 2%. And finally, they calculate the royalty that is due. So let's take sales multiplied by percentage, and that comes up to $73,000. So if somebody sees this sheet, they will see the total that is due. They will see the formula behind it, but they will not be able to see easily what's behind this calculation. You will be happy to hear that you can use drill down even on calculations like this one. Let me go to the Acumatica toolbar again and click drill down. And just like you saw earlier, Vilexo reports will show you a summary of every account, every sub-account, every period, and every branch that is part of the calculation. But more importantly, it will also show you where in your spreadsheet this particular combination of account and sub-account was found. If you recall, we pulled two numbers from the trial balance, and you can see it right here. If I click on the hyperlink, Excel takes me to the exact line in the P&L where the amount was found. So let's go back to my drill down tab and click view transaction. And just like you saw earlier, Excel will take you to the Acumatica account details screen. And then you can click on the reference number to see the original transaction. In this case, it's an AP invoice. Voila. Okay, so now that you saw some of the key features in Vilexo reports, I'd like to take you through the process of creating a spreadsheet from scratch. I will first close this file here and go to the File menu and create a new workbook. Next, I will go to the Acumatica Connection Manager. This is in the Acumatica toolbar. And this is the screen where you will set up the connection to your Acumatica instance. So let's click on Add Connection. I will enter the address to my Acumatica website. my company name, my username, and then my password. So you will do that whenever you create a new file, or if you have any existing Excel spreadsheet that you want to connect to Acumatica. You can connect to multiple Acumatica companies, multiple Acumatica tenants, even multiple Acumatica instances if you require. The system allows you to consolidate and build reports that retrieve data from multiple connections. The name that I entered here, demo, is the name that I will use in my functions. That's how we tell Excel where to get the data from. So I will click connect, and you can see that my connection has been added to the spreadsheet. By the way, I'd like to mention a few important things about security and access rights. We use the same set of credentials and permissions that you use inside Acumatica. That means that you will not have to set up separate logins or manage permissions in a different system. If your users do not have access to the inquiries that we use to make Excel and Acumatica talk, they will not be able to run reports inside Excel. If you are using branch access restrictions, so let's say you have multiple branches and your user only has access to a few branches, the same restrictions will be applied in Excel. We even support the more advanced security features of Acumatica. There is a feature called restriction groups. It's also known as role level security. And that's a feature in Acumatica that allows you to limit access to specific GL accounts and specific GL sub-accounts. That's extremely useful if you have reports that you want to distribute to specific users that should only see a subset of your GL. So we'll close the window. And next, I will use the insert chart of account feature to populate my spreadsheet with every GL account in my system. Next, I would like to add the account name next to the account code. To do that, I will use my first Vilexo function. It's a function called account name. I could just type it here, but instead I want to show you a very nice way that you can use in Excel to discover every function available. Inside the Formulas tab, you have Insert Function. And in Insert Function, you can filter by category. So if you open this list, you can see financial, date, time, math, statistical. And at the very end, you have Acumatica General Ledger module. Inside this category, you will find every GL-related function that we add to the product, including the function that we're looking for, account name. Before I select it, I will scroll down to show you a few additional functions. So we have function to retrieve total credits, total debits, turnover, the account type, a list of branches. We have functions to work with financial periods. So if you want to add or subtract, let's say you're creating a report that shows the last 12 months, that's one of the functions you can use, and many more. We also have another category for the project module. So if you're using Acumatica with the project accounting module, that's where you will find all the different functions that we add for the project module. So let's go back to GL and select account name and just click OK. The nice thing about the function window is that Excel guides you through the process of entering all the arguments. The account name function is very simple. By the way, every function that we add is quite simple to use. So let's quickly enter the different arguments. The connection name is demo, and the code of the GL account is here in column A1. So you can see that Excel has entered A1, and you already see the result of this function. It's petty cash. Let's click OK and copy this formula down. So when you double click on a cell in Excel, Excel copies everything down and updates the function. So now you have the account code and the account name next to it. let's make this report a bit more useful and add the current balance next to the account name. Before I do that, I will add some formatting. So let's call that account code, bold, underline, account name, and then here, current balance. I will add a filter or parameter for the ledger. So my ledger will be actual, but if I want to switch between the actual ledger and the budget ledger, I will be able to change it here. I will also have my financial period here. So I want to report on 11/2017. And I'm ready to start typing my function. So I want to use account ending balance. Oops, not like that, balance. And as you can see, as I'm typing the function name, Excel shows me this window here with a description of the function and information on each and every argument. If I need more information, I can also click on the function name. There's an hyperlink, and Excel will open my web browser and take me to our self-service support portal. You'll see a page specific to the function you just clicked, and detailed information on all the different arguments. You will also find examples of how you can use this function. And you can also access additional information on the support side, such as a getting started guide, or sample Excel reports that you can use as inspiration for your own reports or simply for training purposes. So the report that I'm using today is available on this site. And we also have reports that were shared by some of our customers as well. So let's go back to Excel and continue typing. So my connection, my ledger here in B1. Next is the account class parameter. So if you recall in the P&L, we had a few accounts that were calculated based on the account class. For this example, I will just use the account code. So I will leave the account class argument empty and just go to the next one, account. So I will type A5 because I want to use the account code here. I don't want to filter by sub-account, so I will leave this blank. When you leave something blank, you just tell Excel that you want every single result. So everything in account 10-100, no matter the sub-account. You can filter by sub-account using the same structure I showed you earlier with the accounts. So you can enter specific sub-accounts, you can do wildcards, you can do from and to specific sub-accounts, and so on. Finally, my period is in, oops, it's hidden, it's here, it's in C3, and then just press enter, and I'll show that as currency. So you can see that Excel has already calculated the result. Let's copy that down by double-clicking on it, and we see the current balance of every single account. If I change to a different ledger and press enter, Excel will recalculate everything and now show me the budget ledger. Since I placed the period number here at the top of the column, that also means that I can easily copy this to the right and show you, oops, not like that, show you multiple periods. So August, September, October, November. As I mentioned earlier, you could also use some additional functions to have Excel automatically show you the last X number of periods that you need. So as you've been seeing so far, this is very, very simple to do. Anyone can do it. If you know how to use Excel, you'll be able to use this tool within minutes. There is really no learning curve. All the functions are designed to be used by humans. We use human readable names. You don't have to be a programmer or a computer whiz to use this. If you're already spending time in Excel, this is a tool that you will enjoy using, and we have testimonials from many customers that really show us that people like to use Excel for their Acumatica financial reporting needs. So the file that you see right now, the report that you see right now is fully functional. Really, I could change the layout and formatting, but I'm already able to use all the features that you've been seeing since the beginning of my demonstration. So if I go, let's say, to the advertising expense account and click on this cell here, I can do drill down and drill to Acumatica. So really there is no magic or no trick that you need to do. Everything will work right away as soon as you start using the different Vilexo functions and formulas. You can also use a few additional tools that we provide as part of Vilexo reports. In the Acumatica toolbar, you will find a very useful feature called hide zero rows. So you can see here by looking at my report that I have quite a few accounts that have no balance. So what I can do if I want to hide these accounts is select my balance columns and click hide zero rows. So Excel will look at every line, and if everything is zero, it will just hide it. I can get the lines to show again by selecting unhide, and they will come back. By the way, you can select multiple columns or you can select just one column. Let's say you want to hide the account if the last period is zero. You can just select the last period and do hide, and that's the only column that Excel will look before deciding if the line should be hidden. Still in the same section of the Acumatica toolbar, you will find copy workbook without formulas. That allows you to take a spreadsheet like this one and replace all the Acumatica specific functions with the actual values. So that's very useful if you want to take the spreadsheet and send it to someone that does not have access to Acumatica. You could send it as is. They would be able to open it and view the last numbers as they were the last time you saved the file. However, if they make any change on the spreadsheet that requires a recalculation, Excel would tell them that the function name is unknown. So if you want to send this file without any connection to your Acumatica system, you can just click copy workbook without formulas, and this would create an exact copy of your file with all the Acumatica specific functions removed. In our next major version, you will find a few additional tools in this section. I can give you a sneak peek and tell you more about what we are working on. One of the features we'll be adding is a report publishing module. The report publisher will allow you to take a complex spreadsheet like the one we were looking at earlier, like the rapid byte sample with multiple tabs. Let me open it again. Take this file and send it to multiple users by email or simply by saving it as PDF file on your network drive. We also plan to add budget writeback and GL transaction posting right from Excel. So tools designed to help accountants and CFOs and anyone that works with Acumatica and GL right from Excel. So that's coming shortly, and you will find these features as part of the Acumatica toolbar. Last thing I'd like to mention regarding product updates is that whenever we release an update, Excel will tell you when you open Excel, and it will offer you to update in just one click. So it's very easy. Once you have the product installed, you don't need to worry about it again. So I will go back to PowerPoint and finish with two last slides, and then I will be happy to answer any question live or through the chat window. So let's start that again. So in terms of licensing, I mentioned that earlier, but I want to say once again that the product is licensed by Acumatica instance. So for example, rapidbyte.acumatica.com, that's an Acumatica instance. The pricing is based on your Acumatica edition and resource level. So that can be the Acumatica Small Business Edition, the Acumatica Advanced Edition, and something like small, medium, large, and X large. In all cases, you can install the Excel add-in on as many computers as you want. There's an unlimited number of Excel licenses included with the product. If you want a personalized quote, I invite you to contact PC Bennett. They will be happy to provide you with additional information on the product and the implementation. In summary, I showed you Velixo reports, the only reporting tool of its kind designed for Acumatica by Acumatica experts. You saw some of the functions that we had to excel. All in all, there's over 45 functions that are added, and they're all functions that can be used by anyone with Excel experience. There's really no learning curve to Velixo. If you know how to use Excel, you already know how to use our product. Performance, as you saw, is great. Everything is lightning fast, and everything recalculates and updates right away. Whenever you make a change to any field or any account mapping, you will see the results right away. Finally, I showed you some of the unique capabilities that are made possible by the tight integration that we have to Acumatica. You saw the smart drill down feature, and I'm sure you will agree that this is not just drill down, but smart drill down. You saw how the refresh process works. I mentioned consolidations to you. We did not go through a full example, but you know that you can connect to multiple companies and create consolidated reports. Finally, we discussed security and some of the advanced security features that are available in Acumatica and also supported by our tool. If you have any additional questions, I will be happy to answer them now if we have time. Otherwise, feel free to reach out to PC Bennett, and I will be happy to answer your questions. Thanks
We
again,
have a couple
everyone.
of questions, Gabrielle.
Yes, Patricia.
The first one is, does the product only work on GL and project modules? Does it work with AR and AP modules?
Good. That's a very good question, and it's a question that I frequently get. Our product works with GL and project, and that's our main focus. We do not support AR or AP or inventory. For such scenarios, we feel that a business intelligence product is better. You would not use a business intelligence product to create your financial report. So there are different needs, and the needs need to be addressed with different solutions. One thing that I did not mention, and that I probably should have, however, is that you can use Excel to include data from other data sources. So Excel has this data tab here, and inside any Excel spreadsheet, like the P&L that you're looking at now, you're able to include data from Acumatica by using the Acumatica generic inquiries feature and the get data feature here. So we have customers that have created inquiries with AR data, with sales data, and they are combining that with financial reports. If your primary requirement is AR reports, this is not the tool for you. If you have financial reporting requirements like the one I've been demonstrating, but you need to add some Acumatica data from AR, from inventory, that's a solution that can work. In all cases, I will be happy to discuss that further and even provide some examples of how you could incorporate AR data with your financials.
I'm actually going to plug in our Power BI reports for AR and AP, so we can discuss that at a later time, but we do have something that we can offer. There's one more question, and is regarding multi-currency. Does Track support multi-currency?
Yes, we support multi-currency. You can report on companies that are using different base currencies. If you want to create consolidated financial statements that include data from multiple companies using different base currencies, you can achieve that either through Excel or by using the Acumatica translation feature. and then report on the translated ledger that Acumatica provides for you. We do have customers, by the way, reporting in euro, in Australian dollars, New Zealand dollars, US dollars, Canadian dollars, and combination of all of that.
Any more questions, Eddie? Well, we're almost out of time. I really want to thank everybody who participated, and by all means, and you won't have, please send an email at bennett.com, and we will get back to you. And if need be, we will get back to you.
Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.